How are you all? Welcome to the 63 Motorsports video log. Dubbed this the first video log for the 63 Motorsports channel on YouTube. A couple of things to chat about, and I just want to show you, these are plates, not the back plates. They're the cover plates for adjusters, and I don't have a really terrible looking one this time, because I sent it out for research and some development to take a look at what's going on. But you can see we got the cover plates. I have cover plates also part of the research and development of these, and I also have spare camshaft adjuster. This is the one that I play with quite a bit, and you know, never going to be used for a car. It's already starting to wear and it's not very smooth. It actually won't go in anymore. You can just get it out. So this we'll use today just to show for demonstration purposes. Let's assemble one. Make sure that it's actually in the right spot. It's not, so assembling one pinhole goes into the dowel. I don't know if you can see it. Regardless, there's a dowel there. Can't see it. Okay, there's a focus. There's a dowel. So line that up. I'm not even going to check if this is the right one for this housing, but that's how that'll work out. This goes in like so. Of course, it's very tight. Okay, and this, if you look, this is an advance adjuster. This will be the intake side. And of course you got this. This is not clean. When you're installing and reinstalling and cleaning and taking things apart, make sure you clean them. Blow out the tops and the threads. Use a green Scotch-Brite. When you're installing these, you can see you got the 5 holes for the bolts, and then you got your lock. The lock goes up where the part numbers are. Let's see if I can find it for you. Can't very well, but it's there. Line these up. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I don't have terrible covers for the point that I'm trying to make in this video today, but I will find something for you to look at. So let's work on there. Okay, actually do the dirty one. So there you go, this is the dirty one. Focus on this. This is the dirty one. What we are trying to focus on is in each of the holes, because you can see that it's countersunk. And the countersunk hole focuses on the head of the bolt. So if you look at all the bolts, maybe you look at all the bolts, you can see on the inner diameter it's darker, and that degree, when you look at that, is what sits, because it's a, you know, that's what sits on the inner diameter of this countersunk part. And I shouldn't need to tell you this, but these cover plates are soft. So what happens is you push this in. I'm going to exaggerate it. So there you go. You push this in, and as the steel gets really thin towards the lip, the head of this bolt pushes in, and what happens is it starts to deform. So then you push it more and more. The tighter you go on this, the more that this inner diameter hole deflects. Okay, so what you're gonna see, you're gonna start seeing rings, which I'm hoping to find in one of my plates, but unfortunately you don't really see them in stock plates when they come from factory. And what I'm trying to get to at that is that you only see those rings from plates that have been opened in the past and torqued to, let's say, 25 Newton meters per se. So these are DLC plates, and as you can see, no rings, because these came from factory and we coated it in diamond-like carbon. But it is important to note, no, you can kind of see a little bit of a ring here, but it's not a lip. So if you ran your nail through that ring, you wouldn't feel it. So these are all good because these came from factory adjusters. Okay, so what's happening? There you go. What's happening is as soon as you push the bolts in, and you know I'm going to have to take this apart, of course. There you go. As soon as you push that bolt in, the cover plate is getting sandwiched to the point that it's going into the chamfers in here and creating that indent into your covers here. So where does that put you? Where does that put us? Well, that puts us where, when you get these and you're building it, clean them. I'm using WD-40, doesn't matter what you use. Very lightly, so that you can inspect your parts very well. And then you'd be able to be a better judge. So look at the difference here of so clean, dirty, if your covers are good or not. And truth be told, if you have an M156 car that's had several owners, that's when I would be worried about people opening things up. So what's the effects? The effects are these 34mm bolts. Let's focus here. Because they cave, instead of bottoming out right at where the separation is, it's gonna push. Okay, now you got 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You try to lock it and it's not going to work because you got these, the tips of the threads are holding them in place. Okay, worst yet, parts that are not inspected and you put expensive parts on them, like titanium adjusters, which are, mind you, shorter than these. Okay, you're gonna have broken parts. I'll have to zero it. Oh. Well, also have working parts, working instruments. There we go. So 34 and 15. How do you inspect bolts to make sure that they're good? You line them up so you can see the darker thread to the left of my nail. There you go. line them up and look through. If you see any light showing through, the bolts have stretched. Okay. Now the thing about the titanium is that they are strong in a different way than steel. The titanium bolts have a lower tensile strength, but can meet the strength of steel. So what happens is if you apply forces on the steel, they stretch, but if you apply forces on titanium, if it's experiencing forces in more than one plane, let's say you're torquing this, right? This is the titanium bolt, you torque it, and then your torsional forces going in, and then it bottoms out on the separation here. So now you got forces resisting what you're putting in. It's gonna snap on you. But I need to make sure that I get it out as a PSA to inspect your parts, check them out. Because if you don't, what's gonna end up happening is that we're gonna make parts for the broken parts that you made. This is a camshaft adjuster M156 cover. So you can see there are no lips on them. These are brand new, and also these are way tougher than stock. So if you really want to go 25 Newton meters on them, you technically could. Here's another one. These are treated. And the last one are these. So coming up, putting them in cars, seeing how the weight reduction works out. You know, if I could say 63 Motorsports is all about pushing boundaries, and we'll push them to the point where we go too far, and we would say, you know, I think we overdid it, and maybe we want to look at it as a bigger picture. And do we just want strength all the time? So what I'm trying to get to is that yes, there's lots of big power to be made. Yes, you can go with dynos and getting your gains, but the drivability part is a big deal for us, especially if we're going to be driving it on a track. That's why releases aren't so quick. They don't happen very fast. But there's quite a few things out in the horizon for you. And hopefully this video, 15-minute video, finds you well. And hopefully you've done your due diligence and research. As an FYI, M6 bolts don't go as high as 25 Newton meters. You'll break them.